Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Juan Manuel Ocho Cáceres. I am one of the Leo Lion Board Liaison, and I'm currently serving on the Service Activity Committee of Lions Club International Board.
Hello everyone, this is Leo Lion Ayush Bagla from India, and I'm the other Leo Lion Board Liaison for the year and serve on the Membership Development Committee of the board. The two of us represent the voice of Leos, Leo Lions, and Young Lions on our International Board of Directors. Today, I would like to introduce you all to International Director Gary Brown, who is the person behind the idea of this town hall and has helped Posho and me extensively over the last few months, including the last technical breakdown that we had. ID Brown from USA is currently serving as a third-year director on the board and is also the vice chair of the Leadership Development Committee. Please welcome International Director Brown amongst us.
Thank you so much, Ayush. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am International Director Gary Brown from the United States. Let's try again. Our first attempt broke the internet. I think this attempt broke my camera. I apologize. Wonderful to have you with us today for the first ever Leo Lion and Leo Town Hall with the LCI Executive Officers. I thank Second Vice President Brian Sheehan and Third Vice President Patty Hill for being with us today. Last year, I was on the Leadership Development Committee with Leo Lion Board Liaison Potter Kai Fong. I'll never forget when Potter came in and sat down next to me at his first Leadership Development Committee meeting, and he was a little nervous and a little intimidated. He said he was not quite sure what to do. I urged him to be sure to speak up whenever he had something to say, and I told him that we truly wanted to learn from him. Fast forward to this year, when I was offered the privilege to be board mentor to Leo Lion Board Liaison Ayush Bagla. Our first meeting revealed that we both like to get things done. I propose that we get to the heart of the matter and get the Leos, Leo Lions, and our executive officers together to directly discuss where we are in our relationship, where we want to go, and how to best get there. I promised that we could make this happen, but I challenged Leo Lions Ayush and Pollo to run the show. So here we are today. We all believe the best way to learn is to listen, ask direct questions, and exchange ideas. I wish to thank Leo Lions Ayush and Pollo for their hard work. I also thank Kamisi Grace, the Leadership Development Committee, the Membership Development Committee, and the LCI staff for helping to make this town hall come together. I often hear the phrase, the Leos and the Leo Lions are our future, to which I generally respond, that's true, but they are also a critical and important part of who we are right now. Fellow Lions, Leo Lions, and Leos, it's now my distinct honor to turn the program back over to Leo Lion Ayush Bagla, who will begin the program and make further introductions.
Thank you, Brown, for and go Ayush with our presentation of our special guest.
Thank you, Posho, and thank you, ID Brown. Today, my dear Leos and Leo Lions, we have with us our second International Vice President, Lion Brian Sheehan from Bird Island, Minnesota. And I'm sure all of you know about his love for penguins. VP Brian, who could very soon become an honorary Leo member, can give any young person sitting out here today a run for his money when it comes to handling tech. So I welcome VP Brian amongst us today. Hi, VP Brian.
How are you, Ayash?
You're doing great, sir. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you for joining us. And also joining us today is our third International Vice President, Dr. Patty Hill from Cole, Canada. To all of our young members, VP Patty became district governor when she was 42 years old. So we are sure a lot of you will be motivated to follow her footsteps and be young leaders. Welcome, VP Patty.
Thank you so much, Leo Lampocho. It's great to be here, and we're excited to be back today, knowing that we've got tech support for our platform that's going to work.
A very big thank you to both our vice presidents for taking our time, a second time around, from their busy schedule to be here today with the young members of our organization.
And also a very big thank you to our Leos and Leo Lions for sending in so many questions. And it was really, really difficult choosing from the hundred of amazing questions we received. So Ayush, let's take this off.
Yes, with the fingers crossed that we do not crash the app one more time. For sure, let's begin our chat with both our vice presidents today.
Okay, to start this session of questions, we want to start with our second vice president, Brian, telling us over your years as a lion, what has been your experience working with young lions or Leos?
Well, thank you, Polo. And first of all, let me tell you how happy I am that you're having this event. We truly appreciate your persistency and tenacity and overcoming any obstacles, past and future, which is great. And thank you for inviting Vice President Pat and myself to this live event. We need a lot more of these type of events, especially during these times when we're stranded in our homes, and so we can bring the thoughts and concerns of each group together so we can hear the viewpoints of all generations. Thanks to you and all involved and all the organizers for putting this together. And I am always grateful to Leos and Leo Lions, and I love going to Leo and Leo Lion events, as well as having Leos come to all of the Lions event, and I mean all. These are energetic, creative, not afraid of technology, enthusiastic, and motivating to everybody. I have sat in on lots and lots of Leo events, especially during this pandemic. Congratulations on stepping forward with your talents and putting on so many events around the world. You've really shined, and you've really picked up the pace and what needed to be done, as our organization has been stranded at home for over a year now. You found out how to serve virtually, and you keep things going all year long. You know, when I go to a Leo event, if it's either live or virtual, for me there's this special energy in the air, and I learn from that. I can feel the excitement. I can anticipate the fun. It's a different level than what I've been accustomed to, and I always come away with recharged batteries from those events because I've had such a great time. I've always said it. Leos are not our future. You are our now. You are not our tomorrow. You must remain our now. You know, in Constitutional Area 1, a year and a half ago, we started up the Young Lions Task Force to give them some free range in growing our young lions and our new leaders. Constitutional Area 4 is following up with the same with a newly formed European Young Lions Task Force, and other constitutional areas are bringing forth similar groups as well with their new talents and ideas. And watching and seeing all of them and what they are doing is just awesome. I believe your knowledge and your superiority of especially technology is extremely obvious, but it's not just a few of people with that knowledge, it's the entire group. When I can go to a Leo event and I can just hand them a memory stick and say, play this, it just happens without a hitch or anything. And I love that, especially when I have a need for lots of audio as well as videos. It just works. I feel the most important aspect I see in working with Leos and young lions is not their technology knowledge, but their creativity and their brainstorming and coming up with something new and their desire to volunteer. You know, I've heard comments like, people don't want to volunteer. Young people don't want to volunteer or help. They're too busy doing other things, or they're on their phone all the time. From where I stand, and what I've seen is Leos and young lions want to volunteer more than ever and more than anybody. And I am very, very appreciative of that. And that's what excites me. They bring new and different service projects to the table. They're not going to do the same thing that they've been doing for the last so many years. It's fresh, and it's needed service. And I continue to look forward to working with the Leos and the Young Lions and continue to shorten that so-called generation gap, which I feel has been getting better, but still has a long ways to go. We have to get rid of it. That will happen with more communication just like this. So again, thank you for putting on this event.
Thank you, VP Brian. And I must say, when you talk about the generational gap, your fun presentations and even funnier audio and video clips are definitely helping in reducing that generational gap when we talk about Leo
my
meetings.
daughter entertained. She comes to all of these events as well, so I have to. She's my barometer.
That's true. Moving on to VP Patty, you joined this organization when you were, you're still young when we talk about you, but when you were younger. And what was your experience of sharing new ideas with more seasoned alliance? When you first came into this organization, how were your ideas accepted or opposed? What did you feel like as a young, new member of this organization?
Well, thank you for that question. And as VP Brian has said, thank you for this forum where we can have these discussions about the critical importance of the Leo voice, the Leo Lion voice, and Young Lions in forming, our association. You're part of it. You should be part of it. My experience was perhaps unique in that I had a relationship with the local Lions Club before I joined. They had come to me for some of my expertise in my professional background. And so I consulted to the Lions in the area. So part of me said, okay, they want to hear what I have to say, which was refreshing, which was great. However, after I became a member and I was absorbed into this club of over 100 lions, all of whom were men at that time, all of a sudden it felt like it changed, and I felt like I don't even know if I can put my hand up. I don't know when to ask a question. They gave us the agenda. I looked at it and I thought, okay, here's a spot where maybe I could ask my question. I was glad for the agenda, but everybody seemed to know what was going on and I didn't. And so they would say, any additions, any changes, motion carried, agenda set. And I thought I didn't even know how to get a word in or how to raise my hand. And so it was a real change for me from being the expert consultant to being the not expert, not knowing what I was doing, new kid on the block. And so I felt reluctant, I felt hesitant, I felt like the outsider. And so I went to my sponsor, but I also found a mentor. And I had a couple of people then in the club, and I would say to them, before the meeting, I think I want to comment on this topic, or I want to raise a new idea. And I used my mentors. I had to have that orientation. I had to have that onboarding as a new young lion to come to understand, how do I work in this organization? How do we get things done? Who do I talk to if I have a service idea or a membership idea? And so it took a lot of learning. So I had to breathe. I had to say, wait a minute, the first two experiences aren't going to be what it is forever. And so how do I build my relationship with this organization? How do I get my orientation and onboarding? And then I realized I had to ask. Like, I had to ask my mentor. They couldn't imagine what was going on in my mind. They'd been there for 10 years. They knew what was going to happen in meetings or service projects. So I had to be the one who would take the risk and say, I don't know what's happening next, or I don't know how to do this. And, let me be the naive new person here, and let me just ask. So that's sort of my big takeaway was you have to accept that you're starting from square one, no matter your background or expertise or past experience. This is a new experience. So ask lots of questions. Ask for mentors. Ask for guidance. Ask for orientation. Ask for someone to show you what door to go through to get where you want to go. So that was my experience.
It's great to hear your experience, and it shows us how important are mentors for our organization, and how we as Leo Lions, all the Leo Lions that are hearing from us, if we want this organization to move forward, we need to be the right mentors. So it's really good to hear your experience. And now moving to our next question, we want to know from you, VP Brian, if you can speak about, you were mentioning something before, but as our organization, as Lions Club organization, what benefit, how the organization benefit from Leo Lions? Sorry, Vivi Brian, we can hear you.
It's that technology thing. I'm trying to get a hold of you. And where do I start with what the benefits are that Leo Lion brings to this organization? You know, I think the biggest benefit that Leo Lions bring to the Lions Clubs International, and y'all know I'm in favor of a lot of change. And the benefits that Leo Lions, I think, brings to LCI are your new ideas. It's an automatic change, which can be very difficult for some. Some will shun that. They don't like change. They're not used to it. Sometimes as we get older, we don't like as much change. But you guys bring an automatic enthusiasm and different ideas, which automatically brings change. You know, I did a fun seminar a number of years back called Young Punks and Old Geezers, which was a very satirical for a reason. And the Leos and the young lions were split apart from the seasoned lions. They're not old lions, we call them seasoned lions, to discuss the viewpoints of the opposite group. And then when we joined back together as one big group and we discussed what our problems were with the other generation, at the time, I feel there was a much larger divide between the two groups than there is today. And maybe because I'm as well getting a little bit older, but I love working with Leos. I know that everyone learned a lot about each other that day, and there was compassion, and there was hopefully a sense of understanding for each other. There's a difference, and everyone brings something different to the table. And isn't that what diversity is about? That's what our international president, Choi, is right. Diversity is what gives us strength. Much like we're doing right here with this event and have been doing for the last year in this pandemic. You know, we've had a Leo Lion program for a long time, but it takes too much time, as far as I'm concerned, to get that word out to our Lions and our Leos membership about these great benefits to bridge into Lions and what you can bring to this organization. We need to invite them into our existing Lions Club better, or start new clubs. And both you, Polo, and Ayush are doing this. And congratulations to you. Starting up those new Leo Lions clubs right away is a great way to go. And quite honestly, I'm really glad you're doing that, because I have a very selfish reason as to why I want a much higher percent of Leos to become Leo Lions. It's very simple. We need you. We absolutely need you. I have a passion for this organization. All the vice presidents have a passion for what we do. All the Lions members that are on here and listen to this discussion have a passion. And I know that the Leos and the Leo Lions do as well. And again, we need your energy, your creativity. We need your viewpoints and how we can make this organization and this world better. We need each other. Hopefully we can tell you some of the pitfalls that we've gone through. You can tell us some of the experiences you've done. And I know that you currently have a lot of attractive benefits as Leos, but you will expand on them by becoming a Leo Lion and continuing to bring your contributions to this organization, again, which is needed. I have an opportunity to teach people and and lead at a high level. That's what you get a chance to be able to do. Our Leo Lion liaisons have clearly shown, and a big shout out to them. What we want to leave is a mark in this world before we die, and there's no better way to do that than to continue your obvious path, which is to become a Leo Lion. So let's not get lost in the shuffle. It's a natural and progressive path for a Leo, and I want to make sure you do it and take advantage without a gap in your need to serve others, but you do it when the time is right. I want to see you fulfill your passion and taking that next step as soon as you can, because we've seen from the past the great things that you can do to help us out. We need your assistance of other Leo Lions. Let's all Leos know how that experience was for you. I hope, and as Patty said, mentor the Leos to make sure that they do the same. We need to find a way to continue the journey to become a Leo Lion as well. And we need your creativity, we need your ideas, as well as your, more important to me, is fun and energy to rub off on us a little bit. I want to come help us to be a bigger part of this organization and let your leadership grow. That's what we all get the opportunity to do.
Thank you, VP Brian. It's so great to hear a lot of reason why Leo should think about becoming Leo Lions, and hearing that from you, our international president, it's so great. And you were talking about the importance of starting new Leo clubs, and we have with us in our audience member Leo Lion Maria Elena, and who want to ask their question on camera to Vice President Patty Hill. Welcome, Maria Elena.
Good morning, panelists and audience. My question is to the Chair Vice President Lion, Dr. Patty Hill, and it is, when Leos and Lions work together, what is the biggest impact that we can achieve?
Well, hello, Leo Lion Maria, and thank you for joining us today to ask your question. When Leos and Lions work together, I think there are probably three areas I want to touch on, and Vice President Brian's already mentioned fun. Fun is critical. So let me move on and say, I think in the immediate short term, there's a huge impact, because with the young perspective of Leos and their view of what the community needs, they can inspire a Lions Club to do service that is entirely different from what the old geezers might have thought was the most important service project to do. So I think there's a huge impact on service. I even know that some of our vintage or seasoned Lions don't feel as comfortable doing really physical projects anymore. But together with the Leos, it expands the diversity of service that can happen. So number one, I think in the short term immediate impact, it's a whole new world of service with fun. In sort of that midterm, longer term impact, it's the relationships that we build. We don't have the Leos over on one side doing their thing and the Lions completely separate doing something else. We're building relationships, and we never know where those are going to take us, whether some senior Lion is going to have a job offer for a junior Leo in a few years, whether they're going to help each other with personal or Lion service projects again. It's about building relationships, and it's about building intergenerational understanding, so that we don't say, oh, those young people, or oh, those old folks, It's about building understanding. And so that's the long-term impact. We talk all the time about building understanding among the peoples of the world. Well, let's build understanding cross-generationally, across age ranges. We do that within our nuclear families. Grandparents understand their grandkids, and grandkids try to understand their grandparents. Why wouldn't we do that within our communities? So there's that immediate impact of, diverse service, diverse ideas. There's that mid-range impact of the relationships we build, mentoring and being mentored. And then there's the long-term impact, which can only make our societies a better place to live when we understand each other. It's not just about ethnic understanding or racial understanding. It's about age-related understanding as well. And it's about understanding and respecting each other's perspectives. I'm sorry, I get a little excited about this topic. So that will be my answer to your question, Leo, Lion, Maria. You're welcome.
Thank you.
I think that's a terrific answer. Thank you so much, Maria, for the question. And Vicky Patty, when you were talking about how Leos and Lions could come together and should come together to have fun and to serve, one of the topics that I really wanted to talk to you, next was probably, we have service and fun when Leo Lions come together. But what about, leadership roles? So, in your opinion, what is your opinion on Leos and Leo Lions having more representation at the district and multiple district levels in the Lions Councils, to have more active involvement in changing the contemporary ideations as we move our organization forward in this next century of service?
Okay, the short answer is yes, I agree it's critical. But let me tell you why. It's critical that we have Leos and Leo Lions, young Lions, with the organization at every level. So whether that's at a multiple district council, whether that's at a district cabinet, whether that's at a zone meeting, within our clubs, where are the Leos and Leo Lions and Lions visiting and interacting with each other? It's critical, and we should formalize it so that everyone understands it's an expectation. So I step back and I say, most of us, as Leos or Lions, we just are working hard to build a better world, right? That's what we're trying to do, have a positive impact on the world. But we can't do that if we just restrict ourselves to having the same group of people in a closed group sharing their same ideas. Now, I'm an older Lion, but even I can have new ideas when you put new people in the mix and you have a new synergy, right? So when we come together and we're sharing our ideas, we create that better opportunity to build the better future we've been talking about, to do improvement in our communities, to address the needs that we're seeing in our communities. Secondly, I will repeat this as many times as I need to for the rest of my life. Okay, here it is. Not about me without me. Okay, not about me without me. I don't want you necessarily planning what older women want unless you've got some older women with you giving you feedback and input. You don't want me planning what young Leo Lions want without young Leo Lions having their own say. So it's not about me without me. So in every group, if we are saying, what should we be doing with young people? We better have the Leos in the room in the discussion. If we're saying, what does our community, what does our association need to be attractive to or inclusive of young Lions? Well, a bunch of old geezers sitting around talking about that won't have the input that they need to make the right decisions. And so when we talk then about how do we promote Leos, Leo Lions, young Lions into leadership positions, then we also need to make sure that that is a priority. If we don't make it a priority, then we focus on other things. We have to make it a priority. We have to say there is a place for every voice at this table. And I know normally when we talk about diversity, we might start in some context and say, are we racially diverse? Well, once we're inclusive of the human race, that's the only racial group we need to worry about, the human race. Once we are inclusive of that, then let's be realistic. Are we inclusive of gender? Are we inclusive of age? Are we inclusive of different, perspectives, points of view, walks of life? Because unless we have those voices in the room, we can't plan for the community they live in. We can't plan the right service for that community or for our world unless those voices are present.
It's always great to hear your words about this. How passionate you are, Vice President Patty. This is something we have been talking about, how important is diversity in the room to understand better the needs. We have to make sure, as you mentioned, that there's a place in the room for young people. And we have heard concern from our Leo Lions about the confusion of their membership type and how this affects their efforts to pursue leadership roles as Lions. And today we have with us Leo Lion Wilson participating in our town hall, who has a question to VP Brian about this. Welcome, Wilson.
Thank you, Leila and Paulo. Hi, VPs, how are you? So to VP Brian, I would like to question, do you think that there is a glass ceiling in terms of leadership? Sorry, am I audible?
Yep. Nope, I hear you, Leo Wilson, and it's great to see you, Leo Lion.
Oh, nice. Oh, thank you. So my question to you, VP Brian, is: do you think that there is a glass ceiling for Leo Lions taking leadership positions? Many of us hear that Leo Lions are not full Lions. I think that's my question.
Well, thank you, Leo Lion Wilson, and we've added the Leo Lions into our international board to help us improve our listening skills and truly listen to our young members and helping us understand what is preventing them from taking the next step to become a great leader, and to let them continue to lead and execute the goals that we have. We've seen a lot of changes over the last few years, but obviously there is not enough yet. This has got to be done in our multiple districts, and our clubs, just as Vice President Patty did a wonderful job in explaining a place for every voice at this table. I'm going to use that. I'm going to steal that, Patty. That's a great scenario. I know that our mouths in the past have always said, well, that's not how we've done it in the past. Oh, I hate that. It's time to open up our ears and not so much our mouths, and listen and have some respect for our young members and let them lead the way that they want to, especially in new projects that they want to do. Let them take full hand at it. Listen to what they want to do and let them run with it, and be supporting but not controlling. We need a Leo or a Leo Lion position in our multiple districts and our districts, but not stopping at that. We need to give our Leo Lions an opportunity to take cabinet and district positions to show us the skills that they have. We all started with that, and we all grew by having that opportunity. I'm an optimist. I always try to look on the positive and the bright side of things, and I was raised and taught from the day I was born from my parents that gender, color, religion, and different cultures, as well as somebody's age, does not get in the way of how you treat or you interact with people. I was taught that we are all equal and can contribute on an equal basis. And that's how I've lived my life. I set the goals I've wanted and just did them. But just because I was raised this way and was how I led my life does not make me naive enough to think and see it doesn't happen. I'm not oblivious to know that this is an old rank and file members, and they say things like I said, this is not how we've done them in the past, and you don't have the experience to know how we do things. We've got to get rid of that mentality. I know in some instances that there is a glass ceiling for Leo Lions taking leadership positions. There's a lot of glass ceilings for a lot of different groups, not just the young. We've got to break that ceiling and other ceilings together. And this is how we do it, by having events like this, attacking it from every direction. there's no need for it, and it does us absolutely no good. I've always been a person to give someone a chance and to prove what they have done. Every single person in this organization has been given an opportunity to show what they can do, and being a Leo Lion is no exception. And as far as people saying Leo Lions are not full lions, Wilson, please send them to me. I'd love to talk to them. Leo Lions have earned everything that is due to them. It would be like saying you are a member under 5 years of being a lion, so you're not a full lion yet. Sit back and watch on how we do things. That happens in our clubs, and as well as we must change. We all have the same passion. We all have the same desire to serve, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. A lion is a lion, and I'm grateful that this Leo Lion movement is really taken off, and I appreciate it. I hope I got your answer down there, Wilson.
Sure. Thank you very much, VP Lion Ryan. A very big fan of yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Wilson, for such a great question. And thank you, VP Brian, for your answer. I'm sure a lot of Leo Lions would now be directing a lot of people to your email ID after this town hall. But thank you so much to both of the Vice Presidents for being such staunch supporters of the Leo Lions and the young Lions. And, VP Brian, you just said about glass ceilings, not just for young people, but for a lot of other groups as well. And, when we talk about that glass ceiling, and we just heard, third VP, Dr. Patty, talk about what happened with her when she joined the Alliance Club, and she was one of the only few female members, if not the only one. So, to VP Patty, what advice would you give to our young female Lions and Leos on how to start taking steps to leadership roles now? Not just being members, but taking up leadership roles. And do you feel that, in this current situation, in this current generation, we are more open to gender equity than when you joined back, in this organization?
Okay, there's several parts to that question. I'll start with the last part. Are we more open? Certainly, our younger generation, just for the most part, expects to see some gender equality and balance, right? That doesn't mean our old geezers have necessarily changed and kept up. So I don't think there's one answer that fits all. That's the diversity of our group. But, you talked about what advice I might give. And I want everybody to understand. So my advice is not just for the females who are on with us today or who watch this in recording. It's for all of us, for the males, the females, all of our genders. So first off, we've done enough research in the field of psychology and sociology to understand that when it comes to stepping up, to taking on leadership roles, that somehow, whether it's through enculturation or whatever, it doesn't matter, women and men approach this differently. So number one, it is a different path to leadership. We know statistically that if there is an opening, a position, let's say president of your Leo club or your Lions club or your zone, whatever, that women will tend to look at the criteria that are listed and say, okay, I've done that, I've done this, I could do that, I can do that, yeah, okay. And we know statistically, of course, there's always exceptions to every rule, right? But we know that statistically, men will say, yeah, I could probably do that. Yeah, okay, sure, I could learn that. Yeah, that looks feasible. And, am I right? Posho, you're laughing. Okay. But what happens is in the research, which has been done time and time again, women will then apply or put their name forward for the position when they've got about 95% of the training, the requirements, the background, everything. They can check it off. They say, okay, I've got it. I'm ready to apply for this position. Men will look at the list, and when they've got about 50%, they say, yeah, I got it, and I'll learn the rest as I go. And I have no explanation for that, except that we know it's true. So what happens is, people who've entered in, maybe they became Leos or Leo Lions at the same time, and then You know, one of them's saying, yeah, I could do that. And the other one's saying, well, ask me next year. You know, so knowing this research and knowing that, yeah, we do think differently and we need both of those types of minds in the room, right? Then my advice to young females is this: take the risk. Take the risk. Say, yes, I think I could do that if you'll help me. Yes, I could do that if you'll show me the next steps. Yes, I could do that if you'll mentor me. Yes, I can do that if you send me to Regional Lions Leadership Institute. Yeah, sure, I'll step forward, but I need you to be my partner in this journey, and I need you to send me to the Advanced Lions Leadership. Yes, I can do this if you'll let me be the VP of the club, and then I can become the president. So my advice to young women, young female lions and Leos, and Leo lions is just say yes and build a support team of mentors around you. Look at the people who've done it well. I don't care what gender they were. Build yourself some mentors who you say, I want to do it the way they did. I like their style. I like the way they handle conflict. I like the way they mentor others. Build your team around you and go forward. So don't wait to be asked, you know, because they'll look around the room and they'll say, oh, somebody's already got their hand up. Yes, Ayush, would you like to do that, right? No, don't wait to be asked. Put your hand up, knowing that we've got you, knowing we want you to succeed, knowing we want our clubs to succeed, knowing that we've got your back, that we'll help you and mentor you, and we're not there to criticize you and tear you down. We're there to be careful with our criticism, right? So just put your hand up, just ask, just take a risk.
Thank you, Vivi Pari, for your perspective. I keep thinking about the thing you mentioned about the requirements and the checklist, and that's really explained why normally women leaders are better because they are more prepared. They think if they are really prepared for that, and women just let's do it. But it's a really good advice for all our members, and I know they will really appreciate and they welcome your guidance.
I really hope that all the men listening today, all the young men listening, the seasoned men listening, will understand that perspective and say, why don't I just encourage? Why don't I just offer to mentor? Why don't I just hold this door open? You know, because we all want each other to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vivi Patty, and you were so bang on in some of the instances when you mentioned a few things. So thanks for the wake up call to a lot of us. VP Brian, we've had this discussion so many times. You are someone who understands tech probably better than a few of the Leos out here. But you keep talking about how Leos have been so good especially with tech. And given the current COVID pandemic where everything's moved online, we've seen a lot of lions begin to engage virtually, and we've seen a role reversal in the way of teaching. Usually, it's always been part of the way that the lions are the ones who are going to teach Leos. But now in this new virtual world, we're seeing the lions turning to Leos, and not just Leos, even younger generations, their children, grandchildren, on helping them, go online. Do you think that after this pandemic, the lions are more open to learn even more, other things other than the virtual things from Leos and young lions now?
Thank you, Ayash, and I think we can all learn. I've learned how to unmute here for 3 times in a row, so it's really good. And let's face it, tomorrow is today. We have leapfrogged ourselves 5 to 7 years into the future with this pandemic, and we absolutely were not ready or prepared for this fast of a transition into this Zoom world 12 months ago. it was like a brick wall for many clubs. And it's a little different because, like I said a little earlier, the younger generation, you're all involved in technology. You bring things and you have devices all over the place, and each and every one of you. With the older seasoned generation, it's a little more difficult. We may have one or two that is used to it, but having you all be there is so important for us to be able to do it. I'm sure 80% of our members have never done a Zoom or knew what Zoom was a year ago. What worries me the most with this pandemic is the Lions we have not heard from yet. And we need your assistance in order to connect up some of those clubs. So some of our clubs have not met. Let's admit it. They just haven't. They've waited to wait till the light at the end of this tunnel, and I'm hoping it comes shortly. But we need your assistance and the clubs are going to open their arms up to anybody that can assist them and try to get people out to be able to help, because to refuse to learn how this communication tools and thinking differently and how we serve can help them in this new normal or this new world. It's not going to be the same as we had before. They don't have the tools they need to remain with their fellow Lions, and they need it so desperately. Some Lions will not open up to using some tools available or thinking outside the box no matter what. And I hope that is a very small percent as we move forward. But I believe most will take your help in connecting up with their friends and their families, which is Lions, both now and in the future, from our Leos and our young Lions. But you know what? I feel the greater need we have of each and every one here, the Leos and the young Lions in this new world, is your creativity, like I've said before, and help on how do we serve differently in this post-pandemic world we find ourselves in. Besides your obvious talents and knowledge with your technology, we need your new and fresh ideas and how we serve post-pandemic. All people are not accustomed to change. Leos and Lions, you need to be able to help us and teach us how to be open to that and do that, as well as get us online, and we have to be open to that. This is an opportunity for us to serve online and differently than we have ever done before. The United Nations Affairs Office is predicting 245 million people this year are going to need humanitarian assistance. 245 million people. That's 40% higher than last year. And are we ready to have 40% increase in our service? We can be, if we can get all hands on deck and with the Leos and Lions there to help us and be open to it. Yes, we're going to be open to it because we must be open to it and have this organization grow and prosper. Welcome to tomorrow today.
Thank you, Vivi, Brian. Yeah, it's very, very important. We have to be open. There's so much needs in our community, and we need as many hands that we can achieve. So, and we were talking about teaching, and now talking about learning too. I want to take this time to remind to our Leos and Leo Lions that the Lion Learning Center is available to everyone. Lions Club International was visionary in creating the Lions Learning Center many years ago. And when it was created, online learning was not that popular. But now, everyone is comfortable with virtual platform, and we have this great online learning center. So everyone can go to the center right after this town hall today. And yeah, our Lions Learning Center is for everyone, and the same is for all of our clubs. So, VP Patty, please share with us, what do you think, why are multi-generational clubs for all clubs types, even Leo Lion clubs, important to serve?
Ooh, thank you for that question. It comes back to the strength that we have in diversity, right? So when our clubs, even if it's a specialty club, or if it started as a Leo Lion club or a traditional Lions club, when we have that multi-generational inclusive diversity in it, then we look at our community differently. My set of eyes see certain things in my community. I see my pathway to work. I see what needs I care about. I see the things that cross my desk as a professional. You see the things that are part of your world, and we could live in the same neighborhood, but we would see different things. I can talk with my colleagues and we can hear about all the problems with, finding time to be with our grandchildren. Somebody else is going to talk about, the problems about finding pandemic dating solutions. It's very different, but we need all of those. So that drives how we serve our community. We need that different lens, that different focus, so that when we come together as a club, we can have young people who say, we've identified a need and we see this as a priority for our generation and we should be addressing it. And someone with a bit of seasoned experience might say, great, because I know where you can have a facility, or I'm good at accounting, I'll help you out with that. We need all of those perspectives together. And that diversity gives us a different perspective on our community. But when we stand back and we look at who we are a global impact group. That's who we are. We are a global association dedicated to serving the needs of others. And as Vice President Brian just quoted, 245 million, the needs are growing exponentially. And so we need all these perspectives to say, how are we going to address that as well? We'll take care of our community, but where do we fit in the needs of the world? And one generation might be very concerned about long-term support for environmental causes, while another is more concerned about age-related macular degeneration. So we need all those voices together. And we need to be open to doing business like we've never done it before. Zoom has become a verb. It became a verb. WebEx didn't become a verb. A few others whose names I can't remember anymore didn't become the word, because Zoom got it. Zoom was ready. They responded to the immediate need. They immediately said, that's a need. We'll give it to you free. Go. Just make use of us. That's what our Lions Clubs and our Leo Lions and our Leos need to do. We need to say, that's a need. We're here. Make use of us. What do we do next? How do we do it? Just tell us what you need. And we need to be able to hear all those voices. As Brian said, we need to listen and listen and listen. And Vice President Brian, I made myself a note. We are still going to have some vintage Lions, as I often refer to them, who just want to have in-person meetings, who just want to get together, and who understand that you young people want to be zooming around, but, and maybe we're going to develop club branches, not for the new young generation entering, but for our seasoned senators, our elders, our wisdom holders. Maybe they're just going to also decide to be a club branch that still gets together every week for lunch once restrictions are lifted, while the larger club is zooming around doing things. So we need to be open to it all. But if we don't have all the perspectives, we can't address the needs in our communities. That's the bottom line for you, Pooja.
Thank you so much, Vicky Patty, and I'm sure that that's a very, very good point. That even younger clubs like Leo Lions clubs should have more multi-generational, members in it. We have a live question for Vicky Brian, Leo Lion August from MD4 California. Vicky Brian, he wants to ask you that we've only briefly heard of the Young Lions Task Force over the past year in the context of NAMI and the GMA. What are some of the accomplishments or changes that they've advocated for in our association?
You know, this is a very, very exciting group, this North American Membership Initiative, and starting up this Young Lions Task Force. And again, other people are picking this up globally as well. But they were put together in order not to be dictated as to what to do, but what can you guys do to help educate us and let us know what it is and how we get younger members involved. And they went out, they started up clubs, they started doing sessions all over North America on items just like this, and going to colleges and going to campuses and doing everything that they possibly could, and to be a huge, huge resource to any club, any district, any multiple that wanted to get the insight on how do we get young members involved. Again, not just listening to them, but watch them and put them into action. They had agendas, they had items that they're doing, they're putting seminars on at the forums. We just let them go, and extremely successful. And that's why other constitutional areas are picking up on it as well. We've got to do task force like that to let them go and give them that opportunity and see what we can do. They completely help the organization out. Thank you for the question.
Thank you for taking this time for this. And now we have another live question we just received, and this is for Vicky Pari. And it's, what advice do you have for how young people can start a conversation with senior lions so they will be open to my point of view and ideas and understanding that I still value their experience and opinions?
Nice question. You know, something that you can actually take away and do at your next meeting or your next opportunity. I think our senior lions want to know they're still relevant and they're still heard. In the same way, young lions want to know they're relevant and they're heard. People want to know they matter. And so if you start by saying, you know, senior lion, you've got a lot of experience. Can you tell me about, and then introduce the topic you'd like. Listen to them. And then say, I really like your perspective, because my perspective was a little different. I thought, and introduce your perspective. Because what we're trying to build here is a relationship of mutual respect for each other's ideas and input. So you give them respect for their ideas and you say, and here are mine. Now that sounds very simplistic, but you have to start somewhere. And the person you start with might not be a good listener. So if it doesn't work with that person, then move to the next line and say, what's your perspective? And here is mine. And share and establish that equal basis.
I think you've used the exact word mutual respect, and you know, that is why probably we when we talk about lions and leos and young lions, leo lions working together, we talk about a family, and that's how we have mutual respect for each other, because we are one family, irrespective of you are a leo or a lion. And I think that's the exact point that you mentioned about mutual respect. Oh, and look at the time, you know, it just flies when you're having such interesting conversations, and also when the app does not crash. So, but before we do say goodbye to our vice presidents, you would like to share some information with all the young Leos and Leo Lions out here today. So if we can have the slides come up. As all of you know, that there are a lot of benefits if you join the Leo Line program. One of them being that you know, you get a discount on the international dues. You have a entrance fee waiver. You get a special Leo Line membership pin that Coach and I are wearing right now. You are also eligible to be appointed as the Leo Line board liaison, and more importantly, you also get a scholarship for the Advanced Lions Leadership Institute. You can apply for it for the next year, and you know, one Leo Lion from each constitutional area gets that scholarship. When we talk about leadership institutes, just to be clear, all the Leo Lions over here, they can go to these following Lions Leadership Institutes, which is the ELLI, the RLLI, and the ALLI, which is the leadership pathway. While we have the FDI and the LSIP, which is the highest certification of a trainer by Lions Clubs International on the Train the Trainer pathway. You can, if you want more information, you can log on to lionsclubs.org/learn. We also have the Lions Learning Center that Portia just mentioned about. So you can access the Lions Learning Center via the Lions Club's website, and then there are some very few easy steps to become a Leo, from a Leo to a Leo Lion. The first thing that you need to do is check your eligibility, whether you are a Leo member reported on MyLCI for more than a year and a day. Then decide which type of club works best for you, a specialty club, your sponsoring Lions Club, or if you want to start your own Leo Lion Club. Then tell a Lion that you're ready to be a member and take their help to get yourself reported on MyLCI. Moving ahead, a message to all the Leo Lions out here today. As you know, the Leo Lion Board Liaison is a designation appointed by the Lions Clubs International to represent the voices of the young people on our international board of directors. And if you are interested in being the voice of the young people of organization, and you qualify all the requirements mentioned on the screen, then you can fill up an expression of interest and submit it to the department by 11th of April 2021 to be considered as one of the next board liaison. Trust me, Portia and I can vouch, it is a great experience and even a greater learning opportunity. And finally, to all the Leos, Leo Lions and Lions over here, as all of you know, we have our virtual LCICon 2021. You can scan the QR code, or you can just go on our Lions Club's website and go to the LCICon tab, and you can get more information about it. Please make sure you register before 31st March to enjoy the early bird rate. Over to you, Portia.
Oh, thank you, Ayush, for all this information. Very important, and to make it really quick because we have been having a great time with our VPs, and we want to give a special thanks to ID Brown for your support and for helping us to organize this. A round of applause. This is for you, ID Brown. We really appreciate it. And we want to, of course, give the special thanks to our guests, our International Vice President, Shihan, and Dr. Hill for taking your time twice to make this possible, and of course, mostly for your commitment with young people. So I would like to invite VP Patty to share a special message to our Leo Lions and Leos for today.
Thank you. It's been wonderful to have this time together to talk about what you want us to address. You know, these were your questions, not ours. These are your ideas, not ours. And so if I can leave you with a message, it's that we want to share the experience with you. We want to sit at the same table with you. And it's not even that we want you to sit at our table. We want to be with you, alongside you, as we continue to serve together. Because the future is going to be whatever we build today. So let's build it together. Thank you.
Thank you, VP Patty, for such a great remark. And thank you so much for the time that you always give the Leos and the young Lions. And we know that you're always interested to join us on our table instead of calling us to your table, and that's how what matters. Those small things. Vice President Brian, you've always been a great supporter of Leos and Leo Lions, and especially for Portia and me. So before we close this today, we would love to have a small concluding remark from you.
It's so important as Lions that we recognize and, as we've just said, respect the younger members of our Lions family. They're partners with us in service, not just beneficiaries of our service. Now is the time to create the relationships and provide younger people with the experience necessary to care carry our association forward. You will take us to the next level. Let us get you started earlier. Like right now, Leos and Leo Lions, you're our legacy. They will not only carry on our work, they can take it to brand new heights. So share with them, partner with them, build with them, because when you do, what you're really building is the future of Lions. I want to thank you to our great board liaisons. You do such a wonderful job. And all the attendees here, I really, really enjoyed this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, VP Brian, and thank you all for being here. This is coming to close. This is ending, and I want to take the chance to say to all Leo Lions there, as we heard from our international president, we have 100% support. So it is our time to take those opportunities. It is our time to go there and contribute to our organization. I have to confess myself, I'm really excited because this goes great. Thank you. I really, really appreciate everybody's work. Special thanks to our young department team for being there, also supporting us. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so happy for this time. I want to say everyone because you know me. I'm this. And thank you, Ayush, for this crazy idea. It was my pleasure to organizing this, and thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. On the screen, you can see a QR code with all the resources about the Leoline program, and another QR code which links you to Padlet website, where you will be able to write all your feedback about this town hall and share suggestions with us and our VPs. If you need more information about the Leoline program, you can send an email to the email you see on the screen. And the Young Lions and Leo team, which have done a great, great job, Roxanne, Kamisi, and Melissa, and they will do their best to address everyone's questions in a timely manner. Also, you can see Porsche and my contact information and social media. If you need to contact us anytime, we're always available. Thank you once again to our vice presidents, to ID Brown, to the organizing team, and my dear, dear friend, Porsche. And thank you to all my Leos, Leo Lions, and Lions who joined us today a second time around. Wishing you all a great day or night ahead wherever you are. And please, please, please stay safe. Thank you.